So I think I've just witnessed the longest argument in the history of YouTube. For some context, I was just watching a basketball video. If you don't know, I'm a big basketball fan. And it was a classic moment where Tracy McGrady scored 13 points in 33 seconds. They were down by 8 points. He scored 13. He put them at a lead with 1 point with 1.7 seconds remaining. And then one of his opponents on the opposite team, named Tony Parker, got one last shot off. As you can see, he missed and the game was over. So 7 years ago, somebody commented, imagine if Parker, he means, Tony Parker, his shot went in, would have killed the hype so hard. And he's correct, obviously. If Tony Parker made that shot, then the San Antonio Spurs would have won the game. T-Mac's 13 points in 33 seconds would have been completely worthless. And yeah, it would have just really sucked. So 7 years ago, this guy named inEffect, you guys are going to be very familiar with him in a few minutes, said, but it didn't. That's why you're watching this video. Seriously, what kind of thinking is that? Imagine if Jordan was a scrub and the Bulls never won all those titles. And then he makes some crazy comparison here that I'm not even going to read out. So basically, he's angry because this guy has an imagination. Seems like a very weird thing to get angry about, but okay. So the first guy replies and says, what kind of thinking is that? He's quoting inEffect. Why don't you just ask why the word imagine exists then? It's human nature to imagine. Get over it. And then he says, get over what? And yeah, the comments just continue and pretty much everybody piles on to this inEffect guy because he was being very bitter. Damn, if you're so against curiosity and imagination, why are you even commenting on YouTube? So this response to inEffect was 7 years ago. So doing some math here, that was in 2016. And then somebody even typed in 2 years ago, RIP inEffect 69, 2016 to 2020 will not be remembered. And in 99.9% of YouTube interactions I've ever seen, even if it's not an argument, that's where it ends. Because obviously people change throughout the years. Some people might not even have their YouTube accounts anymore. Some people might not even use YouTube. You know what I mean? So people typically don't interact with each other after years like that. But I think you guys can guess where I'm going with this. So 2 years ago, so 5 years after this initial argument, inEffect comes back and says, did you get help to write that response? No, seriously, it's just too perfect. I honestly cried for half an hour. Obviously, he's being sarcastic. And then he gets a reply, bro, that's not a good response. And then he basically wages war against everybody in the comment section, and he starts replying to absolutely everybody. And keep in mind, everybody is against him because he was being very pessimistic with his original comment. But he literally goes, like, look at this. Like, he's just keeps going. Like, and this was 2 years ago. And everybody is, shocked that he is acting this way, and then somebody says, inEffect, RIP, part 2. 5 years later, and these guys are still fighting. Welcome to the internet. Yeah, pretty much. He continues on, and it goes on for a while, and now you can see that we're going into 1 year ago, meaning that this argument has now been going on for 6 years. Yes, you heard that correctly. But anyways, let's keep going. I think this is the world's longest argument. Yep, I agree. So now we've reached the 11 months ago point. So we're getting into closer times to now. Now we're at 4 months ago. And this is where the thread ends for now. So yes, this argument has been going on for 7 goddamn years. Just think about that for a second. A 7-year-long argument on YouTube. I've seen a lot of YouTube superlatives like the longest comment thread or the longest video. How about the longest argument? 7 years. Can anybody find a comment thread that beats that? Let me know what your guys' thoughts are on the situation in the comments. Please leave a like in the video if you enjoyed it and subscribe for more. See ya.